This is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and I'm getting ready to start my day, and was just checking my, my anthuriums and my philodendrons, monstera that I've started planting in the orchard floor, but I'm doing cuttings of everything first, and trying to figure out how to grow them well in pots, which I gave some wrong information. Somebody asked about what my watering was on these. When it's warm out like this, I give them 2 cups, sometimes twice a day, but I don't have pots on the bottom. They're in compost. I realize that compost isn't good for people in their houses because it's so dirty. Fortunately, I'm able to do it outside here on our porch, sun porch, our Florida room. So it's not a problem for me because there's cockroaches and ants and worms and everything else in this compost biodynamic compost that we grow these rare aroids in. And I'm in love with them, in case you haven't been able to tell. They seem to do quite well outside. I got most of the cuttings planted. I just have a few more to go. I forgot to mention some the other day. That I planted some little cuttings. I really like this Philodendron Gloriosum. Very beautiful, with beautiful red new growth. Wrong plant, there you go. So I got one new one out here that I haven't mentioned. It's Philodendron heterocraspidon. CF, gets big long leaves, and I got that plant at Ecuador, Ecuador. Hello, little woodpecker. So we grow everything the same way. We pretty much plant it and walk away. Grow it, divide it, plant it, and walk away. So I planted a Philodendron meme here. I'm so surprised they sell this fertilizer for orchids in Florida, because really, I mean, you don't have to pretty much do anything in Florida. You'd have to, pretty much everything is easy to grow in Florida. That's shocking that they make it seem like it's hard. So this is a Philodendron Gloriosum. Little tiny plant. Cuttings. This is Philodendron Plumanii. I see a new leaf there. These were cuttings I did about 4 weeks ago, growing next to my alocasias, and that alocasia there is New Zealand, but it doesn't have a lot of yellow on it. It's okay. It did the last leaf, but it kind of died back in the winter. So this is Philodendron Sodori. The leaves get huge on these things. So I figured I'd go out and check the Tamarillo tree, because I saw fruit on it, and the tree tomato, and then go see if there's fruit on, well, I'm sure there is, see the status of the fruit on the cashew tree, our big cashew tree, the mother plant, because it's been blooming for a long time, and I know it's finally set fruit. Seems like it would be a continuous bloomer if it didn't get cold here in the winter. This is a world's best that has like 2 different size leaves on it now, a cutting. Not sure why that is, but I should hack it back and get it to fruit again. I'm not that crazy about it. The Rollinia tree is doing its thing. This one not so heavily, but it's still doing it. I see lots of flowers on there. Lots of them. I've been really, for the last year, been putting a lot of manure around these things. You know, our daily bedding from our cow manure. Because they're not watered. But I'm sure, because they're so big and healthy, that they would fruit if they had enough compost. So I started paying closer attention to them last year, and looks like it's finally paying off. We'll see. Looks like it, though. So look at the orchids that grow in this hedge. And none of them have ever been watered. They've been here for about, I don't know, 4 years, some of them, most of them, the bigger ones. Never fertilized, never watered. All pretty much lies that they tell you that you have to do to sell you that product that's ruining Florida. I saw one of those chocolate orchids because there's, you know, on the other side. In the process of taking this hedge out because it's just out of control, and generally you can't see the orchids, but I really hacked it back good, and that's why all this stuff is here from when I did my chop and drop. Let me go around. I put about 400 orchids in this hedge all the way around the pool. They're all different types. There it is. It's a pretty big plant. You see it? Yeah. I'm going to plant the crawling philodendrons in here, and I've got some brugmansia started around this thing. It's the neighbor's place where they're going to put Hi, ladies. Oh, you didn't get your muffins. I'll be there in a minute. They were out in the pasture. When I went and opened the cow's gate for them to go out. Sunny Kiss mango is, it looks good. Got 2 crops on it. Big crop. This is the peach cobbler mango, second year in the ground, 10 feet tall, and it's got fruit on it. It's just set. A little bit of fruit, but this is a 2-year-old tree and it's still flowering, so we'll have some peach cobbler. I know another tree that has covered in fruit. This is that Queen Muck fruit tree that's flowering at the moment. See all the flowers on there? It's like every branch is covered. It's like a continuous flowering during the season. Like when the cashew's flowering, when it's warm. And then it continues to flower. Last year it fruited for the first time and I was able to finally taste it. There's some fruit punch mangoes on here, but not a lot. But that's okay because this tree produced so many fruit last year and the year before, and it's only 4 years old, so I want it to like rest. This is a sugarloaf mango that got hit hard by the freeze, but it's fine. Okay, let's go over to that Tamarillo tree. Focus. Asparagus is doing great. Key to asparagus is not to cut it back here. That's what I've noticed. Otherwise, for some reason, it dies back. So I was walking by this tree the other day and I saw Tamarillo fruit on here. And I've been wanting to grow Tamarillo fruit for a long time and never had good luck with it, but looks like it's got fruit on it now, finally. I thought I saw a bigger one than that. There. There's some fruit right there. Yep. Oh yeah, there's lots of fruit on it. The tree tomato. I got the seeds from Oscar at Fruit Lovers Nursery, and this is the only tree that survived. I didn't plant all the seeds, but I planted some, and I got like 2 or 3 little seedlings, and then I planted it out here. I felt like it was gonna fall over because it was getting more and more top heavy, but it's growing out some branches down here, so maybe it'll even it out. So I put this up, but it's not really doing anything. It was falling over. So I tightened it or fixed it so it wasn't falling. Yay, Tamarillo trees. I just need some seeds so I can grow some more. This ice cream bean is like super loaded with flowers. It's been flowering for a few years, but it's never set any fruit. But I think this year is its year. Working my way back to that cashew. This lychee never set any fruit, but looks like it's sending out some sort of growth right now. This is a sugarloaf mango that I thought had fruit on it, but Disappointing. Doesn't have fruit. It's a young tree, so it's not the end of the world, but I don't see any fruit on it. Oh wow, I got plenty of other mangoes. I see one lone lychee fruit on that tree. This one looks like it's flowering, just starting to flower. Okay, cashews, jackfruit tree. White sapote, anemic tree. I don't see any fruit. Yeah, I do. I thought I would see some bigger fruit on here, but it's just cranking up for the summer. I'm sure there's some bigger fruit on here. Can't even tell it was a freeze here. It's gonna have fruit. I don't see any fruit that's huge on here. It's very easy to spot when it's ripe. There'll be fruit. It's still very early, April, I guess. Maybe May. Yeah, for sure, May will have fruit. I see lots of lemons on this tree. This is one of our seed-grown trees. We're on our second generation of lemons from our fruit, from our seed-grown trees. That tree's 3 years in the ground. This one looks like it's just starting to hold still, flower slightly. It's not very good flowers, but there's some. It's very hard doing lychees, dry farmed, the nursery grown lychees. But they do respond to manure. And these are all nursery grown trees. I have not started any lychees from seed for some reason. I don't know why I haven't. Maybe I'll do it this year, I guess. I don't know, waiting 10 years for another tree to produce fruit, but I could always graft onto it. Lychees. Oh yeah. I love lychees. Got about 34 trees, 31, 34 trees, something like that. A couple of them just have never got with the program. They're all nursery trees from Pine Island Nursery. And I watered them for a couple years. The first year I never watered them, and then for like 3 years I did water them, and then I stopped because it didn't seem to matter. They were on like some artesian drip, and it was, the pH of the water was way too wrong. Trying to think of what other random trees we have possibly are fruiting or flowering. Maybe the Santol's over here. I should have looked to see where the flower comes out of on these, but I imagine I could see it if it was gonna flower. This tree didn't seem to get affected by the cold because it's supposed to be a tropical. I don't see any flowers on it. Fruit looks interesting. Doesn't look like the best fruit in the world, but it sounds like it's okay, pretty good. Big fruit, I guess. My tastes change, so what I used to like is not necessarily what I like today the most. I do love the Kwai-Muck the best. Just thinking about it makes my mouth water. They're pretty trees though, these Santols. They're supposed to get huge, and supposedly you need, that's from the, you know, the old leaf. They turn red when they get too cold. Kind of pretty. Or is pretty, not kind of pretty. Anyway, this is Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm in Florida Natural Farming. I hope you have a good day.